When Eden Hazard finally completed a dream move to Real Madrid in the summer of 2019, it was widely believed that the move was going to cement the winger's legacy as one of the greatest players Belgium has ever produced. After guiding Chelsea to multiple Premier League titles and a Europa League triumph in his last outing, Hazard was expected to take things to the next level at Santiago Bernabeu. The Belgian was seen as the heir apparent to Cristiano Ronaldo and was expected to provide a much-needed flair to a team that boasts a lot of attacking talent that's just starting out on a long and arduous professional football journey. Sadly though, things just haven't been great at all. The initial anticipation of Hazard, setting the world alight for Los Blancos, was eventually replaced by disappointment, and fans were left second-guessing if their club made a hasty move for a player whose career would near the twilight zone in a few years. Real had been closely monitoring Hazard for over a decade, and they only made their move when the time was right. Ronaldo had left, and the Belgian had only a year left on his contract at Stamford Bridge. It was a perfect opportunity. The Spanish giants forked out €100 million and finally got their hands on a player they'd been looking at for what seemed like an eternity. However, it would be an understatement that Hazard has struggled at his new club. The Belgian has been besieged by injuries and poor form ever since he moved to Madrid. It points out the fact that the 29-year-old is not the same influential player he was during his time in the Premier League. While Real Madrid are going to be patient with their marquee signing, it's only a matter of time before they start thinking about cutting their losses in the current climate. Before the lockdown, Hazard had made 15 appearances and managed just one goal. A hamstring problem meant that he missed the start of the season. The talented winger would once again miss out on football later in 2019 before making another return in February. That return coincided with a second ankle fracture that put him on the treatment table. After 3 games following his injury, football was suspended due to the COVID pandemic, which gave Hazard enough time to recuperate. And now that he's back, he definitely needs to prove a point. While the Belgian maintains that the first season was always going to be a difficult one, it has to be mentioned that at a club like Real Madrid, you need to be on top of things from the get-go. In the past, many talented players have signed for the capital club, only to be moved on after they failed to quickly acclimatise to their surroundings. James Rodriguez arrived with a lot of fanfare, but the Colombian struggled to realise his true potential and spent some time on loan. While he's back at his parent club, it remains to be seen if the former AS Monaco man will be given time to save his Real Madrid career. This is a club where expectations are always high and players are judged on their output on the pitch. Madrid never have time to be patient with their squad, since it's easier for them to replace one underperforming player with a player who will quickly bring himself up to speed with how things are done at the Bernabeu. Another thing that contributed to a rather forgettable introduction to Spanish football for the Belgian would be the timing of his arrival. He didn't spend a lot of time with his new team before the start of the season, which meant that it took him some time to adjust to a different style of football. In all fairness, Hazard was thrown in the deep end by Zinedine Zidane following his return from the first injury in a game against Paris Saint-Germain. That was a time when Hazard was still getting used to his new surroundings, and the game against the Ligue 1 giants came at a very wrong time. Madrid lost that game 3-0, and Hazard's confidence took a real hit. Throughout his career, the Belgian's playing style has drawn fouls from the opponents. Unfortunately for him though, such fouls were committed against him when he was only just getting back to full fitness. Moving on from his fitness issues, the fact that he did cost a lot of money never really helped either. While players do not have a say on their transfer value, at the end of the day, their performances are rated based on the outlay for their acquisition. Big money signings such as Paul Pogba at Manchester United is a great example of players struggling because of their hefty price tag. Hazard was seen as a true Galactico signing who cost the club a fortune. The club's stakeholders are always willing to pay over the odds for a good player, but always expect the player to do well. When it doesn't happen, it causes quite a stir. Gareth Bale was signed for a then world record fee, has 4 Champions League titles and in fact played a huge role in helping his side win 2 of those titles. Even then, the Welshman hasn't been accepted by the fans. After 7 years, Bale isn't being treated well, so you can imagine the sort of expectations that are being attached to Hazard. Here's today's question. Can you tell us which French club Eden Hazard played for before he moved to Chelsea? Over the years, Madrid fans have gotten used to ruthless assassins wreaking havoc all across Europe. This is a club where every squad member is seen as the creme de la creme of the footballing world. Perhaps the club's fans have been spoiled after years of taking legends for granted. Madrid fans don't like complacency, and if Hazard is not able to sort out his form, they will not hesitate to turn against him and implore the club to find a better replacement. The likes of Alfredo Di Stefano, Ronaldo Nazario, Cristiano Ronaldo and Raul were serial goal-getters. These men would score goals on an off day. Hazard, though, has never been a player who would score goals at such a rate. It's his creative influence and ability to supply crucial passes that make him who he is. However, Real Madrid fans expect him to score freely, and perhaps that is the reason why he might not be seen as a true Madrid star. In order to avoid all that, it is perhaps essential that the club's senior management starts backing up Hazard and make fans realise the qualities Hazard does have, rather than those he never had to begin with. The Belgian is one of the most technically gifted players on the planet. While he may not be able to give you 30 or 40 goals every season, it's his ability to beat multiple opponents and supply pinpoint passes that needs to be promoted. As long as fans get the impression that they are looking at a man who's replacing Cristiano Ronaldo, Hazard will never be able to showcase his true qualities, and it would be a great loss for the club and the player himself. Given the right plan and used to his best, Hazard can be a huge asset for Real Madrid in the coming seasons. While the first season did not pan out the way we would have hoped, his most recent performance in the games against Eibar and Valencia clearly show that he has what it takes to succeed in Spain.